Okay, we're back. I got the SaniSeal. Set that down here, and then make sure they have the bolts and washers. You get two washers, two holders that are plastic, and of course 2 nuts and 2 bolts. But sometimes people will open the package and just take these out because they had broke them or lost them for some reason. So make sure these are in there. You can usually shake it and hear it. Okay. Okay, so we take this guy, and we got our bolts. One side has kind of a flat piece on it, so it grabs the bottom of the flange, and then positions itself up. And of course, this is how you tighten the bolt, the toilet to the floor. So we got 2 of these guys, and you have little plastic things that you just slide down over the grooves and then kind of hold it straight up. And then of course you have the metal washers as well. So take this guy, and we take this, back that bolt off, set it to the side, and this goes this bolt will stick into this groove right here, and it slides over. And you take one of these guys and you force it down until it gets to the base, and then it kind of holds it up for you. And you repeat the process with the other side. You take the bolt. Be careful not to drop it into the hole. Into that little slot. Slide it back, and it usually goes back about halfway. So parallel to your other guy. And you take your plastic guy. Try not to drop it down here, because that'll make things a little more difficult for you. Put that on there like that. Force it down. Sometimes it's a little more difficult than others. Like that. So the 2 of them should be basically parallel, side by side. And then we take this guy. And sometimes it's easier just to pop this back up to its original position that it was in the package. But in this case, we won't do that. We'll just stick it. So you line the hole up with the bolt. Take that in there. Do the same thing with the other side. See, it's starting. The bolt comes through. And make sure that this little funnel thing here goes down into the hole, and then it's not curled up or curled under. That'll make the water go out to the onto the floor. Kind of just set it down here a little bit. Make sure it's seated against the flange. Make sure you don't have any debris or anything underneath there causing causing any rips or tears or any kind of issues or anything like that. So yeah, this little guy goes down inside, and so as you can see, when the toilet sits on top here, it has nowhere else to go. This right here is twice this thickness of a wax ring, typically, unless you get the double wax rings. You know how hard and messy those things are to do. So what I'm going to do now is try my best to set this toilet on here by myself, and we'll see how that goes. But I'll let you guys watch. Got my two washers, and I got my nuts. Make sure you keep your nuts together, guys. Okay. Alright. I'm probably going to be out of the picture, but I'll let you know what's going on. So I'm going to stand this toilet up carefully. Sometimes if you take the toilet off and you have the tank attached, sometimes it's easier to remove the tank itself because it makes the toilet a lot easier to maneuver. But with these gaskets, that's not really a problem. So what I have to do is kind of straddle the toilet, pick it up, and then try to look at both sides at the same time as trying to center it onto the hole. Sometimes this is a little tricky. We'll see how it goes for my first time. Pick it up. Try to line up those, look through the holes to see where your bolts are. I can see my bolts. They both look about the same. Set the toilet down on top of it. As long as these two screws you can see the gasket down inside of there. You know it's centered with that hole. Let me check to the other side. And you can see the green down in there, and it's centered. It's not rubbing against the edge of the toilet. You're good. We just take our washer, take the bolt, sometimes there's little caps like that go onto them, but in order for them to stay, they have to have another piece underneath, and that was destroyed because this is about 3 years old. It's been leaking the whole time, and so it rusted out the bolts pretty bad, to the point where I had to cut the toilet off the floor to get them out. I didn't show that to you today, guys, but that'll be in one of my other videos, because that's one thing I do a lot is plumbing, and toilets are a big deal. So I'll show you guys. Sometimes it can be aggravating doing toilet work. Getting the other bolt and the washer. Take your washer and your bolt, and you do the same thing you did on the other side. Put your washer down, put your bolt on top of it, get it down hand tight. And you tighten her down. Now we're gonna take the water line. This is kind of pretty much important. You want to make sure you rehook up the water line and make sure it's tight so it doesn't leak. Let me tighten this up real quick because I need need 2 hands so I don't strip it. Well, there we go. It should go on very easily. These are most likely plastic to metal fittings, so you don't want to torque it down too much because you will strip these plastic threads and then you'll be in trouble and going back to Home Depot or wherever you get your hardware from. Before you forget, make sure you tighten that up. Don't leave it hand tight, but don't torque it down too much either. Just a little snug and maybe a little bit more than that, you know. Like I said, they're plastic, so you don't have to be careful. And also, make sure you're not binding the inside of the toilet when you turn that. Sometimes it's easier just to hold on to the filler valve. Okay, guys. Make sure the toilet's straight. Now we tighten the water valve. We're still good over here. You can see that line where I had to cut the toilet off the floor, but that's pretty much it. So I'll be back in just a minute and we'll show you how it works and see if it leaks.